do a quick video on upcycling. 2 years ago, my lovely bride bought me the 520 conversion from the 510 that I had, which included these new fence rails for not only the main table, floating table, and the extension table, but it came with this new fence as well, which is a pretty hefty guy. You look at this thing, it's just a solid chunk of aluminum, which is, really nice. I also like the fact that it has multiple T-tracks on it, so if you want to set up any kind of jigs, you have somewhere that you can actually affix it to. But now the question is, what do you do with the old 510 fence tubes and the fence and all that stuff? Well, you repurpose it. So this is my router table that I made out of repurposed 510 fence tubes and fence. Many of you are probably thinking, why'd you make a router table? You can just go out and go buy one. Well, this one's pretty cool, and I figured it would be better than throwing away the 510 tubes and the 510 fence. So that I like to build my own things where I can. The actual router table plate is a bench dog. This is their basic bottom of the line one. Didn't need anything special because the router that I have actually has a lift mechanism in it. It's just a rigid, bigger size router. They make two different routers. They make the small, like laminate router, and then they make the bigger one, which actually comes with the lift, and I can adjust it from the top here with a special tool. I can access everything from up here. Just have to take off this plate. I can change out my bits. I can use 1/4 inch with an adapter or a 1/2 inch without the adapter. As you can see, this is MDF, which now, considering, I wish I would have used a different wood because MDF kind of sucks. At least for this particular application. It is nice and smooth, which is what I was going for. And I was going for something relatively inexpensive. Unfortunately, that's come back and bite me because, if you get any kind of liquid on this, it just swells up. So, this was my prototype. I'll eventually go through and probably rebuild it out of better wood or something, or maybe I'll do it out of steel, put a steel top on it or something. I don't know yet. But anyways, as you can see here on top, this is the main table fence tubes. All I did was I took a piece of aluminum flat bar, drilled holes in it so that I could bolt this to that bar, and then I had to use a Forstner bit to hollow out the inside of this table just a little bit where the tubes mount to, because there's a bolt back, nut and a bolt back there, and needs somewhere for it to actually recess into. And then just used wood screws to secure it on. I did that on both sides. I made this table tall because I'm tall, and one thing that I always dislike about router tables is that they're short. I want something that's up here, that way I don't have to bend. I have a bad back, so anything I can do to prevent bending is good. So now let's talk about this fence. As you can see, it's just the 510 fence that essentially I've just mounted a jig to. This fence has holes in it already from ShopSmith, so I just took several pieces of MDF and made a little channel so that I could have adjustable fronts and so that I can have a hollow area here for dust collection. So now this just goes on, slides into place. I lock it down just like I would if it were actually on the ShopSmith. I can adjust these guys however I want. There's wing nuts behind. Hook up my dust collector, and I'm ready to go. So now, one of the other things that I did, which I haven't really used yet, but I did it anyways, was, well, what if I want a bigger table? Well, I have a solution for that. My solution, I made a floating table out of the floating table fence tubes. And it works exactly the same way that it does on the ShopSmith. Using the pipes, and insert your table. And there you go. Now you have an extended table. The only other thing that I added was the safety switch, which I got on Amazon, that just goes all the way through this 2x4 here and essentially powers this plug that's under here. I like it, big stop. Router is probably one of the most dangerous tools in the shop, so I like the idea of having that big stop just in case. So yeah, this is my router table. It has served me well so far. I like it, and it was nice to be able to go through and repurpose these fence tubes that would have otherwise either sat on a shelf or would have been tossed. And all in all, it really didn't cost me too much money to do this. The most expensive part was probably, of course, the router, but aside from that, probably the bench-dog router table insert, which was, I believe, $50 or $60. So yeah, that's it. If anybody has any questions, feel free to comment, and make sure you subscribe and make sure you like.